Racism. What is racism? Racism is any thought or attitude that separates human race for considering some superior to others. When we speak about racism, the first thought that comes into people's minds is against blacks. But racism is a prejudice based on different races of people. It can be against blacks, Asians, Indians, mulattoes, and even white by other races. By having a more painful story with prejudice, blacks are the main reference when racism is the subject discussed. Racism in a person has several origins, depends on the story of each one. In some cases, you may grow listening to the difference and superiority of certain races. In others, some attitudes that shape your thinking. No matter how racism grows in people's minds, but it's important to note that if it's proved, it's a crime in the most part of the world.
Also, some people value so much the superiority of races that they believe in the purification of them, which should dominate the environment where they live. This justification appeared on slavery, when blacks worked in miserable conditions and were sold as objects. In Nazism, the Jews were the main focus, but also blacks, homosexuals, among other minorities, were persecuted to be executed in the concentration camps. With it, you realize how racism was part of the history and how some groups have suffered too much. Nowadays, in a much smaller number, we can see people who think that their race is superior. For example, the skinheads. And this kind of people cause a lot of disgrace in the world.
While the United States there is a strong mix of races, the incidence of racism may not be as obvious to some, but it does not cease to exist. In some cases, it occurs in a subtle way, which is not even perceived by the people. It can happen in the form of jokes, insults, or simply avoid physical contact with the person. The truth is that there's no place to protect from racism. Finish the racism is a battle to gradually gain, and there are several fields where decisive actions can be taken. Education is no doubt one of the areas where numerous victories can be achieved. There's actually an easy task, but it's certainly one of the ways forward given its structural influence in preparing the citizens of tomorrow. To finish the racism is necessary to show the kids that we are equal, we are one, and there is only one race, the human.